Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming to you with another tutorial. Still working on our Pink Harvest Blush Autumn Memoirs journal. Originally when I planned this journal it was only going to be one signature, but Daisy has supplied me with a lot of extra papers to use, and so I want to make sure that I can showcase those as well as the ones that are in the kit. So we're going to do a little bit of a different binding here. So I watched a video quite some time ago, saved it in my inspiration list, and came back to it and decided before I planned this project that I wanted to try this. So it was in my to-do basket to make a journal with this binding. So again, I watched it over at Heather at Ruby and Pearl, and basically you go ahead and do your holes in your signatures, but then you feed it through with sari silk or seam binding. In our case, we're going to use seam binding, and then we attach that to our cover and our back with some, in our case, we're going to be using some printed canvas paper, 2 strips of that, and some lace on top of it just to make it look really pretty. That's what this lace is for, I'm hoping. We'll see. So that's the plan. That'll all make more sense as we go along here. I haven't actually done it before, so again, you know, I'm going to take a risk here. So these are our journal, our signature, excuse me. I believe that there are 9 pages in each with an altered envelope kind of flip thing, and I feel like my camera is, I'm too far away. There we go. So then I start pulling things to myself and then I get out of camera. So I've got my PVA glue because we are going to go ahead and take a moment to cover the front and back covers for this, and then we'll take a break in between. This is the paper that's going to go on the inside covers. Oh, we've got an extra piece of paper in there. Interesting. That was strange. So that's our inside paper. And then this is the canvas paper I was just talking about. So we'll be deciding once we get the sari silk in through the holes how wide we need this to be. So I printed on front and back so I don't have the same problem as I had on the Grungy Bee journal, which you should have already seen. By the time you see this, you will have already seen that one. So I'm going to bring over my mat so that I don't get all messy. I've been having trouble, let me get a baby wipe here, with, I haven't been cleaning these mats very well, and I've been using oxide inks and stuff, so I want to make sure I don't have any color on here that's going to transfer onto my fabric. See all that yellow? Let's see if it's on this side too. Probably is. Probably is. These are disgustingly dirty. I should have prepared for this before. Turn the camera on. Oh well. You know what? Let me see if I got a cleaner one here. Let's toss that one on the floor. Not feeling great today. I've got the next generation cold from our kids at school, so I've got kind of not feeling great. So there's our mat just to keep everything nice and clean. And what did I do with my boards? Oh my goodness gracious, Cara-Renee. Here they are. So the journal cover is measuring 5 3/4 by 8 3/4. So that is the plan. So I'm going to go ahead and give a coat of, let me get this bowl plate over here so we can get some of our PVA glue. This is all plugged up, so that's why I have to open it completely up. And I like to use PVA glue to glue it down to the board, and then I use the Fabri-Tac when I start folding up the sides. And I want to show you a nifty tool, which I'll talk to you about when we get to that point. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a good coat of my PVA glue. I'm just holding this up so that I can keep my mat cleaner than I normally do in this process because I'm going to be laying the fabric down. So I'll just wipe that up, and then I'm just going to get my fabric over here, and I'm going to go ahead and place this face glue side down, and I'm just going to kind of square it up in the middle as best I can. Just seeing that we've got about even bits on each side. I'm going to turn that over, and we do get some glue seepage, so let me grab a paper towel here. Okay, I'm going to do the other one really quick. I'm just going to speed that part up, and then we'll come back and cut the corners together so that I can show you my new nifty tool. Okay, I'm just going to get this out of the way and hope that I'm fast enough to go wash that brush out. I don't think I have a cup of water in here. Usually I have a jar of water, but I did not do that. So same process, just going to lay it down here. And just, it doesn't matter if it's perfectly even because we're going to be trimming some stuff off with the tool that I'm going to show you here in a second. It's kind of a, well, it's not kind of, it's a tool that I saw on Fifi the Paper Crafter. She's doing a series on her channel, and I watched the video one where she's using old vintage books, and she's showing the process from beginning to end. And so she's got this cool tool that helps you to make perfect corner for your covers. So it's pretty epic. Got really hot in here, so I had to take off my sweater. Okay, so basically what you do now, we want to cut our corners down. So I'm going to grab the tool, which is this nifty little thing. Okay, so this is your, you know, this you could be using to cut your fabric, right? But I didn't want to get out like my rotary blade and all of that stuff today. So I'm just going to use it for the purpose of the corner. So basically what you do is you set this in the corner like this, okay, just like that. And I'm going to use a pencil. And I, again, if I had a rotary cutter thing, I would just cut that with my rotary cutter, but I'm just going to go like this, and I'm just going to go all the way to the corner, and just then I'll cut it manually. So, whoops, wrong thing. But I did it on the Bee Journal, and it was really pretty epic. Really great cuts, and a lot more accurate. It was still imperfect, but it was my first time trying it as well. So, you know, learning curve is always an issue. So, just like that, because it gives you that perfect distance from the edge that you need. Wrong one. Did I do that right? Yes. I got some Dayquil on board today, so I hope that I'm going to be making some sense. So let's go ahead and do this one together. I'll do the other one off camera, and then we'll continue. So then I'm just going to take this and just cut that with my sewing scissors, and just cut along that pencil line that I made. Not perfect. Come on, Cara-Renee. A rotary cutter would be epic, but so again, I'm just cutting on that pencil line. I have far more than I need there on the edges, but that's just my jam, so that's what I do. You do you. Shaky for some reason, probably the Dayquil. Okay, perfect. So now I'm just going to kind of bend this a little bit. We do get a little bit of darkness coming through because of that chipboard, but I'm not bothered by that. So now we need our PVA. Oh, I think I'm going to use the Fabri-Tac. I think I mentioned that. I'm going to use Fabri-Tac instead today. So basically, you're just going to, I like to start on the long sides first, and then we're going to fold up this, this whole long side. So I'm just going to be very, very generous all the way to the edge with my Fabri-Tac. I should have probably done this off camera. You guys really didn't need to see this part, but it is what it is now. So then you want to pull this super tight, because that's going to be really important for that really, really square corner that we want to get. Okay, so I'm just pushing that up with kind of a lot of force, like that. Okay, and turn it and do the other side. Goodness gracious. So funny story, this is Saturday, November the 11th, and I had these big plans to go to this craft bazaar that was in town, and a friend of mine and her daughter had a booth there. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to meander and I'm just going to enjoy myself. I walked in, I was so overwhelmed by the people and the amount of stuff and the tables and the maze of trying to figure out where I was and where I wanted to go and where I had been, that I messaged my friend and I'm like, can you just tell me where you are so I can come and see you? Because I don't have it in me today to do this. So I did find her and purchased a couple things, and that was cool. So there we go. So let's see how well our corner is going to work. Well, let's see. It worked pretty good on the bee journal, so I'm hoping that it will work here as well. I'm just putting a lot of Fabri-Tac, and I like to get it right on that point in case I have to push that in at all, because that corner can be tricky. So I am going to push it in a little bit. I'm just going to use my finger and just use that glue to force that edge a little bit. We've got some hangover here. I don't know why that's happening. I don't know if I'm using the tool wrong. I mean, it worked pretty good on the bee journal, so I'm not sure what's going on here. But it's almost like we've got too much there. So nifty tool, I don't know. User error, probably. So I'm just going to I'm using a wipe here just because it's what's here, just to tap that out. And sometimes you can get a little bit of glue and kind of force that to go under a little bit. But again, I'm not going to worry too much about it. I think my corners, for whatever reason, I'm not sure, on the bee journal one I did, I got really, really great corners, but it looks like there's a little bit too much there, in my opinion, but I'm not sure. Got a little bit of a foggy brain, so that might have just been something I was doing wrong. I'm not sure. So this is just a craft with me, guys. Did I say it's a tutorial? It's not. It's a craft with me. It's a craft with me, just disclaimer. I'm just going to try to get some glue under there and see if that helps me out a little bit. And I'm just going to kind of push that in a little bit there and then pull that corner. There we go. That worked well. Okay, sliding all over the place. Same here. I'm just going to kind of push that in a little bit. Come on. Come on. Yeah, that's better. Better. But you know what I say, perfection is not at play in the studio. So I'm not going to worry about it at all. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other panel, and I will be right back. Okay, our covers are ready. So I'm going to go ahead and ink up our inside papers really quick here. I was thinking about how I had to do the Grungy Bee journal exposed spine, and I couldn't put the inside papers on until I did some other things, so I got a little confused. That's okay. We've got it. It's all good. Hope you guys are having a good weekend. By the time, well, when you see this, the drawing will not have happened yet for the Grungy Bee journal, so you'll want to go check out the description box for the exposed spine tutorial that I did for the Grungy Bee journal, and that will be the final place where you'll see the qualifications and all of the stuff for the giveaway, so in case you're interested. So let's go ahead and glue these on just to be nice and ready. Which way is that script going? I think it's going that way. So let me just go ahead and get this all glued on. we go. So I love this kind of a cover, because a person could stick this in the sewing machine and stitch around this through the cover if you wanted to. I struggle to do that when I'm working with a full journal cover with a spine. It's tricky to do that. So, and that some of that will dry clear, but we will be putting something beautiful on the cover. So now our covers are ready for the next step. So I'm gonna just try to get this glue off my hands here really quick, or at least some of it. Yeah. PVA glue is like that. So I'm going to cap my ink up because I do not need that. And I'm going to pull over signature number 1, and I'm just going to go ahead and get some clips out here so that we can get this secured somewhat. I'm not going to measure. I mean, I'll measure one up against the other here in a second, because in the prototype it was only one signature and we're doing more than one. So, but we can make it work. So this is the center of this signature. So I'm just going to kind of clip this. Taking all kinds of risks on camera these days. I haven't ever done this before, so hopefully it's going to be okay. So I forgot to grab my my cradle. I bought a bookbinding cradle from somebody on Etsy, so I'm just reaching to grab it really quick. So it's been super helpful as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and actually I probably should make some pencil marks, shouldn't I? I don't want them to be too tall to the top, so I think I'm going to go about right here and about the same distance on the bottom. See if I can get a measurement there too. That might help us when we get to the second one. So that is about, and oh, I don't know, it's not an even amount. Of course not. So I'm just going to pull this cradle over and I'm going to set this in here. Actually, I'm going to have to take the clips off. That's okay. They don't work really well inside the cradle. Still playing around with this new technology here. So I'm going to go ahead and poke my hole here where I made that mark all the way through. And here, and hopefully that hole is going to be big enough, because I don't want to make a gaping hole, but it's got to be able to fit the seam binding through. So we'll test that out here in a second. We can always make a bigger one if we need to. So, so I'm going to go ahead and just poke it when it's outside of the cradle, just to get it a little bit further in, because the all gets thicker and thicker up the shank of it, if that's what you call it, shank. So that should be better. So you want to have, as Heather said, you want to make sure that your outside page is not too, it's not weak, because it's going to take a lot of the pressure, similar to the Grungy Bee exposed spine journal. I talk a lot about that. There's a lot of pressure on on those signature holes. So I'm just going to put that back in just to help me keep this still here. And again, I'll speed through the second one once we get through this one, so you guys can save you some time. So now I'm going to get my seam binding out. So I'm going to use, I got more of this apricot color, which I'm super happy about. Not sure how much I need, not that much, but let's see. Let's just, again, it won't go to waste, so I'm just going to cut a length of that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to feed this through the top hole using your awl, probably, just to have something to kind of help it push through. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Sorry if this is hard to see. just going to keep going at it, guys. We're already committed. There we go. That's got to be coming through now. It's got to be coming through. Where did she go? It's like stuck somewhere. Oh my word. Come on. I'm giving you plenty of seam binding to come through, and it's not coming through. Oh, this is not good. This is not a good scene. I have a plan though. I was already thinking that this might happen, so bear with me a second, okay? So it's through. That was a lot rougher than I wanted, and I do not like that. So I did ink up some reinforcers here. So let me see if I like that idea of putting a whole reinforcer through there. I'm not sure if I'm going to like that because it might show. I mean, I don't think it's really it's not gonna really do anything because it's not as, the hole is not small enough. So we're just gonna have to roll with it and just again, we're gonna embrace the imperfection of a new process here. So that was not what I had planned. So let's go ahead and go for the second one. So let's see if we have better success with this one. I don't know if it's the tools I'm using, or if there's something else I could use to poke that through. I'm not sure. Which end do we need? We need this end. So I don't know. It's weird. But we're going to keep rolling with it, guys. I mean, she was using sari silk. I can't imagine it would be any easier than this. I mean, it's crazy. It's just absolutely crazy that I can't get this through. Okay, so instead of tearing the hole, maybe we can just make it more deliberately bigger. That's what I should have done in the first place. Look at the difference there. That was probably the difference. See if that helps at all. I think so. I mean, it feels like it's going in, but it's not going anywhere. Oh, there, I see it now. There we go. So that was a little bit better. I feel like it didn't tear as much as it just made the hole bigger. So we'll do that again on the next one. So, okay, let's get this untangled here. What's going on? What did I do? Ah! You know what I did. You know what I did. Oh my goodness gracious, it's got to go in from the outside in. Now, gotta laugh. Laugh with me. Laugh with me. I'm just here to entertain. It's all just entertaining you. Entertaining my little masses. Okay. Stuff it, stuff it, stuff it. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I'd ever do this again. This is just painful as all get out. This is painful. I don't know if there's like something a person could use to kind of string this through there like you would do with beads or something, but I don't have anything like that. It's going to be gorgeous when it's done. It's just not how I envisioned this going. Just trying to grab it from the other side here. There we go. Ooh, painful business. Oh, it has has to be on the outside, Renee. So I was right the first time. I was just feeding it through the wrong side. Goodness gracious. Okay, you guys, please don't leave. Oh my goodness, just cutting off that rotten end there. And we're going to give this another go. Make that hole big. Come on, baby. I know you can do this. There we go. Woohoo! Okay. So there's the first one. And we don't probably need that much. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it. Just going to kind of loosely tie it here. So as usual, my paper is that's so much seam binding. That the paper that I use is 65 pounds, so it's going to hold up pretty well to this kind of abuse. I mean, it's definitely abusive to the paper, so, but I still think it's going to be fun. So there we go. There is signature one. So I'm going to do the second signature off camera, and I'll be right back. Okay. So it went a little bit better off camera. You know, it's a little bit of a nerve-wracking thing to do on camera, so I apologize for all of that waffling and nonsense. So there we go. So we are through both of the signatures. It looks like I didn't ink this one up, but I will take care of that later. This is directional, so I'm making sure that everything is going the right way. It looks to be good. So excuse me. So now what we're going to do is I have to think about this, because again, this is a 2 signature journal as opposed to 1, which was my original plan, was 1. So I want to think about, I think I got those pretty even. Let me think about this. Just getting these strings out of the way. So basically your strips of fabric, and the canvas in our case, is going to go over this edge of this over to the front cover, same on both pieces, and then these ribbons are going to tie to the center. So I need to just go ahead and get these out of my way. So I'm just gonna, I can't do that though, because they are needed there. So where's our center? Let's see if I can get them to at least go just one direction instead of both. That might help me. It's always so much easier off camera and on a prototype. Don't you know? Come on. Just get around that corner. Goodness gracious. That's all I wanted right there. Okay. Because I don't want this on the outside. Goodness gracious, Cara-Renee. How did I end up with that? Because this one's wrong. Hold the fort. No, it's not. I'm overthinking it. Okay. I just don't know how I got all that out of the way, and I can't get it out of the way on the other one. Oh well. I'm done with that fiddling. So let's get our other paper over here. So this is our canvas paper. So I need to figure out what my distance is between these two holes. So I've got my ruler, and so we've got just under 6 inches. So I think if I do each of them 2 inches will be good. So let's see how wide our lace was. It's not quite that wide, but that's okay. It's an inch and under an inch and a half. I might grab some different lace. Give me just a second. So I have this lace. It's one of my one of my favorites, so I think we'll use that. So I'm going to go ahead and turn to my trimmer and cut 2 strips 2 inches wide. I don't know exactly how long I want them to be, so I'm just going to do that with you guys over here. I don't think they need to be very long, so I'm going to go ahead and cut off some of the excess here that doesn't have the writing. I think I'll go about there, and that might be a little much too, so let me go above that line. Perfect. So what part of this do we want? Do we want the words? Yeah, let's do the words. So I think when Heather did it, she just used fabric and lace, but I love using this canvas paper. So I'm going to go ahead and take my lace and just put a little bit of lace over this, just to make it look pretty. Like that. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, let's do that. Should have done this before too, because now it's going to need a little bit of drying time. It's okay, we live and we learn, right? Just going to kind of put that in the middle-ish, like so. I might trim off that top and bottom a little bit more, we'll see. Doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm just going to trim that off. This is one reason why I probably shouldn't try to craft when I'm not feeling well, because I don't know about you, but when I'm not feeling well, my brain is not working very well, so things can be a little bit broken. But I did lay down and take a nap, and I'm just like, I gotta get back in the studio. I have things I want to do. So I love this lace so much. Get that on there, just to give it a little bit of a decorative, feminine feel. Oh, that's taller. What happened? Doesn't really matter. So let me grab another paper towel so I can get this glue taken care of, which will help us to be able to work with this sooner than later. So there we go. Sticky fingers. Sticky fingers. I'm going to just trim this off a little bit. You don't have to. This could hang over, be totally fine. Heather tends to create kind of, I wouldn't say really messy, because it's not like ugly messy, it's just imperfect messy, which I think is really beautiful. So I am going to ink this though, because everything else in the journal is inked. So I'm going to go ahead and just give it a little bit of a shabby look here. Yeah, I think that looks really, really good. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay. Hope you're following along. Hope you're still here. Okay, so now we're going to pull this back over, and I'm going to just set one of them in here for now. I think what I need to do is just pull these to the center like that. Get them out of my way. I don't want to deal with those strings while I'm trying to figure this out. So basically, I think what I'll do is I'll attach it to the cover first. So I'm just going to turn it like this, get that out of my way so I can see. And I'm just looking end to end to get it even. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn this over, because I can still see that edge, so I can see where these need to go. So how much do I need though? That's the tricky part. I don't need much for this spine, so I think I'm going to go about like that. So I'm going to put it right on the canvas paper here. Whoops. Whoopsie daisy. Okay. And I'm just going this side of the string, my signature strings. And because we're using Fabri-Tac and we're putting this on paper, I mean, on fabric, we should be able to lift it if we need to. So I'm going to do the same with the other one, trying to go in the same direction if I can. Excuse me. Feels like my glue has stopped up a little bit. It's not flowing. Okay, and then we're going to do the same over here. I'm just going to be as, you know, as good as I can. Okay. So now we can pick this up and we can turn this over. So now we're going to put this in place. Get in there. Get in there. I suppose you could have tied them and at least they would be, yeah, I don't know if she did it, if she tied them while she was doing this part or not. I'm not sure. So there's that. So we got a little sandwich going on there. And this signature's taller. I don't know how that happens when the papers are all the same size. That signature seems taller, but. And then our other cover. At this point, front and back don't matter. What does matter is that the signatures are going the same direction. So let me just peek and make sure. Yes, we're good. I'm going to set that in there again, and we're going to put this on top. Put this on top. Okay. And I'm going to try to pick this up. Actually, I think what I'm going to try to do is get one of my bigger clips and see if I can hold that in place. Hold on. Why not make it easier on myself, right? So this is not as important. It's where you position the cover against that binding, this binding stuff that we're using. So, but I'm feeling like I'm getting all crooked and overwhelmed. So let's just clip it. Come on, get in there. There we go. Much better. Thank you. Thank you for playing. There we go. So now what we want is we want to make sure that everything's even, that the signatures are not extending past the spine, the cover. So that looks really, really good. So I'm going to go ahead and just go for it. And I'm not going to, I'm only going to put it on the end here. Sorry, I hope you guys can see this. I realize I'm just novicing it here, bringing you along for the crazy ride. Okay. And then I don't want to squish it too much because we need room for the signatures to grow. So I'm just going to kind of set it there, and then I just want to make sure I don't have any glue that's going to get on my papers. That's my main thing. So I'm just going to stretch that out a little bit, like so. And I feel like that's maybe not big enough because typically when I do 2 signatures, it's 2 inches, and this is only going to be 1 inch. So we need to adjust here. So let me take this one up a little bit. Give us a little bit more room. And I can also do the same because we're working with Fabri-Tac. We can just kind of pull this up because it's basically now fabric on fabric because it's canvas, which is a material. So I'm just going to pull that off. Sorry, I'm off camera, but I do not want to move this, so bear with me. Boy, my Fabri-Tac is having trouble. I'm sorry, honey. You need cleaned? I will clean you later. Promise. So I'm just going to put that up there a little bit, not as quite as far. Okay, like that. I'm going to take these clips off because I feel concerned that my signatures are going to get glue on them. So I'm pulling them out. Pulling them out. So let's just look at this again. I guess I could have done this to start with in terms of just doing it without those in there. Now my spine will be, I'm a little bit happier with that. It's a little more than 1 inch. we're going to have to work with it. So I'm going to move this one a little bit. And actually, I'm going to move this one again. Just a little bit. Yeah. Give me a little bit more room there. She still doesn't want to behave. I promised her that I would take care of her later. Goodness gracious. Okay, so let's do... where was I though? Right here. Hopefully I'm okay. I better... Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. As long as I stay kind of far from this bottom edge, we should be fine. Yeah, that looks better. So I'm going to do the same over here. And then I'm going to turn this over and make sure I don't have any glue on the part that's going to touch my signatures before we move on to the next thing, which is just to tie it off and show you what it's going to look like. And this is probably going to be the last video for this project because I have other things I need to do on camera. So that's closer to an inch and a half. I'm happier with that for sure. Okay, so do we have, nope, we're good. We don't even have any glue in there. Just going to wipe it just to make sure, like so. Yes. They look like they're not even though. What happened? Yeah, they are. Huh, interesting. Okay, so let's go ahead, get our signatures in here so we can pull our strings and set them free, one at a time. Be free, be free, be free. Okay, there we go. So we're going to go ahead and set that in there. This is signature number 1. I'm just going to run that there. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and turn this a little bit so I can tie this off. This might be weird when I'm taking this off the table, guys, to tie it. It's going to be hard to see the real structure of it until I've got everything on the pages. So this is not a true representation, I don't think, about what it's going to look like. So let me just get this tied and I'll show you what I mean. My fingers are all sticky, so I am struggling beyond the usual struggle. There we go. There we go. Love that. That's going to be so cool. So I'm going to leave the full length there. Oh, this is going to be gorgeous. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, so that was the first signature. So let's put the second one back here. And this is very, very cool. I am so glad that we persevered through this because this is going to be beautiful. Very, very beautiful. I don't like all my holes though. Like, I just don't like that look. Those torn holes are not pleasing to me, but that's okay. I was just there with the bee journal, so I'll deal with it. I'm just off the camera here and off the desk to tie this second one, and then we'll look at it together. I may untie this again and ink those edges, the spine edges of the outside, the outermost page of the signature, so that it's not so stark white, and trim these up. But that's what she looks like. I love it. Look at that. That's going to be epic, and it's going to allow for just enough expansion for this journal because I'm not doing a bunch of mixed media work in this. So there you have it. I love it. I love it. Look at that. It's again, it's floppy, different than what we're used to when we do a binding, but I think it's going to be really pretty for this little simple journal. So thank you guys so much for hanging with me and bearing with me as I struggled through this process today, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.